Hello, and a wonderful welcome to all shining beings across time and space and all dimensions. It is I, Sylvia, coming to you live from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea. And today we're going to have a very special happiness themed energy show. Our slogan here at the GOE is Your Happiness Matters. Your Happiness Matters. And yeah. Well, this seems to be self explanatory, but there are some people that are not interested in happiness. And I am astonished by this. We've, we're going to get into that. We're going to do some things. I'm going to tell the story of how, when I first understood that happiness matters. That just came to me as I was waiting for the timer to tick down. And we're also going to do definitely the dance of happiness. But before we get to that, I would love to say a special, delighted, and beautiful good morning to my dear live viewers. Carol Ann, good morning, my dear, and Marianne, hello. Yes, I think we should mention this before we get started. Marianne says, good morning, dear Sylvia. I hope you do feel well today. Yes, in spirit, I feel well, and practically, I am um, sort of fighting a cold, the sniffles. So I've got my starry cup with Lemsip by my side, and if there's any outbursts of coughing and sniffling, then by all means, I apologize in advance. Good morning, Actual Possibility and Ravensweaver. Hello, lovely that you are here. I send you a special sparkling drink of health and love and excitement and happiness, a special sparkling drink of happiness to you. To just take it and go, that feels better. Well, one of the cool things is that if you're a little bit um, energy aware, then you don't have to be miserable when you've got a cold. You don't have to be. You can be if you want to be, but you don't have to be, because how happy you want to feel inside, how satisfied with your life, with the quality of your life overall in the moment, is really up to us, and we can choose which way we want to go with that when we learn a little bit about how the energy body reacts to how we think. So it's one of those wonderful things. Good morning, dear Janine. Hello. Welcome to the show, and welcome to other travelers who find us here across time and space. And I always find this so amusing that they are, that we are here right now, and we are here right now for as long as you can play a video. Did you find that fascinating? I think that's quite wonderful. Lovely group we've got here this morning. Let's do some magic. One person by themselves can do a certain amount, but when you add more people to it, it becomes stronger and more powerful, and it has more impact on the people in the group as well as rippling out across into our communities. And that is one of my big topics, to bring happiness back to the people of planet Earth by way of the modern community energist, so that there's a person that can be in a community and say, hey people, did you know how important happiness is for everything in life, for your sanity, for your health, for your quality of life? Quality of life is an important thing, very important thing. I mean, what's life all about? I heard somebody ask that the other day. Young gentleman, what is life all about? You work and then you retire and then you die. What's the point of it? Well, we believe here in the GOE, I believe that the point of our life is to collect as many happy experiences, star moments, as we possibly can while we are alive, and that these are what feeds our souls, our immortal souls. And the more of these star events you had in your life, the greater the chance are that the transition is going to be easy and beautiful to the next level when we ascend or go to heaven. And I absolutely believe that as a structural reality, because my experiences in this life have convinced me that this is so. But we're going to talk about happiness today. Happiness. So I seem to remember in the 1980s, there was sort of a weird little cartoon series that was popping up everywhere. Happiness is. And what is happiness? What is that? What is happiness for you? What is the first thing that pops into your mind when I say, what is happiness? And I'd love for you to type it in the comments and share it. Because what happens when you share something positive or something beautiful, it triggers other people so they remember something positive and happy in return. So, this is quite fun. For 1 year plus, my standard response to the query of how are you was, I am happy today. How are you? Yes, I find that quite amusing when people do that. So people ask me, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fantastic. How are you? Oh, yes. So what is happiness for you? Was the question. And we got a very advanced answer here from Pavel. Good morning, Pavel. All the way in Novosibirsk. I'm so happy you're here with us. Help us span the globe. Many star lines in my here and now. Okay, that is, as I say, this is an advanced answer to the question of what is happiness. A star, well, I'll get to that. Let's see what we've got here. Marianne says when she feels radiant. Happiness is when she feels radiant inside. That's a really good way of thinking about it. When you feel on top of the world, when you really do have that sense that you can just touch and reality ripples under your fingertips. I love that. It's great energy. Nice. Thank you. Hello, Pavel. Yeah, so what is happiness? People, when you ask, so people off the street who haven't thought of it much, they'll come up with, well, this, all right, there's two different kinds of people there. The one people says, come back with, I have no idea what happiness is. I will find happiness after I have, I don't know, found the love of my life, had children with them, and built a huge, and I'm a billionaire, and I'm sitting on my castle overlooking the great lands that I own, where everyone below me is my slave. And when that happens, then I will know what happiness is. And I'm like, wow, you're going to be so disappointed. Have you ever watched the movie Xanadu? That's not called Xanadu. Citizen Kane. Have you ever watched the movie Citizen Kane? It warns of that delusion and it tells us what happiness is. Yeah, and then you get the other people, other sorts of people. You ask, what's happiness for you? And they will come up with something very specific. And they'll say, for example, oh, a cup of hot drinking chocolate on a cold winter's day. Or that moment when you slide into a hot bath and the temperature is just right and you go, ah. And other people will sort of have a smile in their eyes and some stars in their eyes, and they say, yeah, I know what my happiness is, but I probably can't say this in public. else the video would have to become, an 18 rated. And what we have there is this two different understandings of happiness. One of them, the man who has built his empire, he's a billionaire, and he's sitting now in the castle on top of the hill overlooking the countryside. He kind of thinks that happiness is sort of a long thing, like a long rubber band stretched out, that it's an ongoing thing, happiness, that it's like a destination. You get in it and then you're in it and that's it forever. That's heaven, isn't it? That's after you're died. And the other people have realized that happiness are moments. Happiness are moments. Short, very short moments. Something just like in the flash of an eye. And I would go with the second version, happiness is a moment. But it's also a state of being. Let's see. Happiness. Okay, let's have a look at some answers here. What is happiness for you? Happiness is being chosen by a cat to be chirped and purred at. Oh, that's sweet. True. For those who love cats. Happiness is knowing that I am loved. That's kind of the same thing that Ravensweaver just said, isn't it? Coffee. Yes. Coffee and dogs. Yes, coffee and dogs. They are often providers of happiness. I completely agree. Yeah. But there's so many things, isn't there, that can make us happier, that can provide these moments. So I would love to tell you the moment when I understood why happiness matters. See if I can get through this without crying. So back in the day, my young aspect was animal behavior specialist, and had the role to, I used to see clients with problem dogs in their homes as a part of what I was doing. And on this one occasion, I was phoned by this lady who promised me the craziest dog I'd ever seen. And so I drove out to the place and went there. And I got there, and in the kitchen extension of this house, there was this cage. And in the cage was a German Shepherd dog, muzzled on its side with its legs tied up in chains. And my aspect just couldn't believe her eyes. "What is this?" she cried in complete astonishment. And the woman sighed and said that the dog hadn't been so bad. It had been quite nervous and used to sometimes bark at other dogs when taking it out for a walk. And then she went to a professional dog trainer, and then to another, and the professional dog trainer told them that the dog was dominant and it needed to be dominated properly, and then the problems would go away. But the problems didn't go away. The dog got worse. So they went to another trainer and they tightened the screw even more, and the behavior got even worse. And so they went to another dog trainer and they tightened the screw even more. And this poor animal that was in that cage, in the muzzle and with its paws tied together front and back, oh my God, with two chains attached to the side so that they could drag it out like that to try and get it out into the garden for defecation, and it wouldn't. That was the end result of going from one dog trainer to another, and it got worse and worse and worse, and this was the end result of this. And I just looked at the woman and I looked at the dog, and I had this moment and I just cried out. Oh my God, he must be so unhappy. And that was the moment the woman looked at me, and just her eyes just went big and wide, and she gulped, and then tears started pouring down her face. Just pouring down her face. And I was crying as well, so we were standing there crying our eyes out over what had happened here, with the best of intentions. There was no cruelty involved here. Everybody was trying the best and doing their best, and this terrible thing was the result of that. And that was also the moment when I threw all the dominance talk and talk of hierarchies and all this stuff out of the window. That was the moment of enlightenment. I threw it all out of the window. And instead, and once we'd recovered and made a cup of tea, I started to talk with this woman, and we discussed, like two normal human beings would, what we could do to make this dog happier. Not to break dominance-related aggression, over hysteria, sensitivity, blah words. Blah words. To not to do this anymore, and just ask that central question: what can we do to make this dog happier? Happiness matters. Yeah, so we just kept asking that question and answering that question. Of course, get it out of the cage. Of course, take the muzzle off. Let it run around in the backyard like a lunatic for as long as it needs. Be friendly to it. Give it nice food. Pay attention to it. Love it. And so that was that was a prescription. What you need to do to make this dog happier. And ask that question, answer that question. We got the husband on board as well soon enough, because he could see that it was working. And last I heard, the dog was still a bit nervous, but other than that, it was completely normal again. And that, happiness matters, folks. That's when I understood that. And I think what's happened here is that I always thought because I understand it, and I think that everybody else understands it. But that's not necessarily the case. How can I make this person, this house plant, this cat, this dog, this company, this entity happier? That question brings us forward and opens up these avenues of healing, of correcting mistakes that have been, that they weren't done out of bad will or ill will, just because of some confusion that you have in your head about something. Asking that question, how do we make this happier, is systemic, and it provides the answers which lets whatever that is, the system, function better. How can we make it happier? So it's really quite important. So yeah, that was my moment with happiness. That's why I know that happiness matters. And so this week, this crazy thing happened where I was talking to somebody, a person who doesn't do energy work, just a normal person off the street, and I was saying about happiness, and they were saying, what do you do for a living? And I said, oh, I make people happier. This is my reason for life. Is I have a company that helps people become happier. And this person said, oh, I wouldn't be interested in that at all. And I was like, oh, good grief, you wouldn't be interested in being happier? Oh God, no. No. Happiness, this is something that comes after you sort out your work and your family and take care of your stuff and pay your taxes. And if there's any time left after that, then you do happiness. And I haven't got time for happiness. I haven't got time for happiness. I got so much going on with my family and with work, and money's short, and I and yeah, I have got just way too much to do to spend any time on happiness. And I was just completely astonished by this. I was totally like, whoa, that was so funny. And yeah, ah. And I told the story of this on the German group, I think it was, and my energy mind flashed me up a little vision. Let's see if I can share that with you this morning. Let's have a look. Bear with me while I'm trying to figure it out. There we go. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I hope you can see that. It's a person dragging their incarnation with their family piled up and all their stuff and their goods up the hill. And there are these 8 beautiful horses walking serenely behind the cart. When they, in fact, if they were in front of the cart, then it wouldn't be so hard to drag all these things up the hill any longer. In fact, it wouldn't be hard at all. It would be quite good fun. You could sit there on your cart and steer your horses and look around at the countryside and enjoy yourself. You know, it's quite fun, isn't it? So, yeah, that's the happiness horses. Happiness comes first. Happiness is the foundation for everything else that you do on top of it. It's got to be the right way around. So happiness doesn't just matter. It should also come first. Put happiness first. It's I'm so astonished by this, because I'm like standing in a marketplace with a big sign saying happiness for sale, selling happiness, and people walking by go, nah, we don't want happiness, don't need happiness. We're looking for a headache medication because we've got migraines all the time. And I'm like, but happiness, you wouldn't have so many migraines, you know. Happiness, selling happiness. No, I'm looking for get rich quick scheme because I'm really short of money and I need to make some money. I need to earn some money. And I'm like, but if you were happier, then you'd be much more attractive and much more likely to pick something that will make money and be much more successful in business. But people walking by, you know, just happiness for sale. And then there's this whole tour bus of people. We don't want happiness. We are going to work on our traumas, because only when all our traumas are cleared, then we will find happiness. We don't want your happiness. Go away. We want to clear. We want to focus more trauma. We want to buy more trauma. And I'm like, oh, dearie me. This is a base problem that I've never actually previously considered, that people think happiness is unimportant, or that they don't want it, or that it comes at some other time. Or basically, yeah, that picture with the horses, that everything else has to be done first and then happiness, when it is, in fact, the other way around. So, yeah, happiness comes first. I'll do it. My dear energy mind wants me to put up a slide. There we go. See, we've got this thing called the modern energy chart. And underneath it says your happiness matters. And happiness is happening on the positive side of the energy chart. And there's actually sort of steps to happiness. If we can, you know, if you look at the number 3, that's where you have your good ideas. And then you've got the 5, which is inspired action. That's not hard work. It's when we have an idea, we get so excited, got so much energy that we want to immediately start to act upon it. in order to just discharge all this energy that we've got with a good idea. And if we keep working, then we get to the 7-8, where we are well done. After a good day at work and lots of success, you're standing there going, well done. And then there's one more step, which is this moment of, woohoo, this was brilliant. This is a predictable, completely predictable thing that happens when we raise energy. It makes happiness predictable, if you want to say that, if you want to call it that. It's fascinating. Just yesterday, somebody was saying about, I've woken up and I've got no idea what to do with the day. And I immediately said, look, no idea means you're below -3, +3. +3 is when the ideas start happening. You need to raise energy to get the idea. And then the idea, if it's a good idea, inspires you, and then you take action. And when you take inspired action, good chances that you can be satisfied with what you've done. And then the whole thing can lead you to this moment where you go, man, I've had a good day at work. Or, I love my work. I love doing this. Or, wow, this was a job well done. And we are in a space of happiness. See, I'm starting to think happiness exists all the time, but we're not there. We're like at the bottom of the pond and there's sunshine up above. We just need to get there. So, yeah. So how hard is it to raise energy? How hard is that? Okay, guys, tell me here, what is your go-to method to raise energy fast? Like, if you're, I don't know, you've got some job to do, whatever it may be, physical or on the computer or with other people, and you're feeling a bit and you realize that this is not going to go well. You're going to have a meeting or something, and if you go into that meeting with this is going to be terrible. It is a terrible experience for everyone. So you need to raise energy fast. The meeting starts in 3 minutes. What is your favorite go-to technique to get at least to +3 before that meeting starts? You got 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Pavel. I haven't got time to sit there and do a whole long session. Okay, this is a interesting one. To sing. Yep, this is a very interesting way to get happier. If you have a happy song that you can sing, all you have to do is to sing the first few bars of the song, and your energy system immediately responds to that. I use that for time shifting. I have a German song which is about the morning being fresh and bright, and the winds are singing around the mountains. And I only have to sing the first bit of it, and that energy raising effect of the wind singing around the mountains, fresh air, bright colors, clear vision, is instant. Love that. It takes a little bit of practice though, and some energy to put that behind it. Singing, definitely. Interesting. I've got all sorts of interesting things. Oyster shells. Seriously, emo with oyster shells or crystals. Yeah. So an instant emo thing. That's good. Crystals. When we are, I'm saying really quick, 3 minutes. You haven't got time for a long session of all sorts of strangeness. So if you're going to be tapping, so we're probably just talking about a few quick taps with a positive. That would go in 3 minutes. What do I need for this meeting to go spectacularly well for me? I need radiance. Radiance. I need radiance. I am radiant. I'm a radiant being. Woohoo! That will work. So I'm talking about things that you can do spontaneously, quickly, that are natural, that really bring up energy up fast. Snow globe exercise from emo. Yeah, that's a good one, Alex. That's a good one. You can put quickly put your desires. I want this to be happy, joyful, fantastic. Chuck it over, and that will immediately produce an uplifting energy shade. Yeah, like that. Oh, who's that? My go-to song is Mercedes-Benz. Yeah. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? That's quite fun. It's kind of ironic as well, which is nice. Oh yes, Paul, my friend here. Solar Phoenix says, a star memory. Yes. Before the meeting, give me the perfect star memory that I can connect with right now, so that this meeting is going to go brilliantly well. Absolutely. If you are star matrix enabled, and I am so going to say that, there's nothing better on planet Earth for your self-esteem and general energy levels than star matrix. If you haven't done the star matrix course, for the love of God, please do it. We've got Star Matrix, the lucky number 7, starting early February. And if you've done it, please rejoin us for a fabulous river raid. Just go and contact Zoe. You'll be surprised how rivery the river raid is. But yeah, Star Matrix, absolutely brilliant. And once you can get that instant response, yes, star memories are great. Breathe. I tell myself breath is good. It's all good, and I breathe. Yeah, that will be great. And we can strengthen that effect by doing things like breathing in positives, like going back to my rolling example with this meeting that might be very challenging. We can go like, all right, I'm going to breathe in power and breathe out being a complete weasel. And breathe in sunshine. And breathe out all stale energies that I don't need anymore. And just breathe in stuff until you really can feel that radiance coming into being and you're higher on the energy chart. If you're new to this whole gig, do put an energy chart on your fridge. Make it your business to check your energy levels every so often. And if you are low, then, So we've got a lot of different ways to raise energy fast. My fastest go-to is round of applause. Well done. Just do that with me. Try that. Let's do that together for a moment. Round of applause. Woohoo! And notice what happens when you're sort of clapping your hands together. How you can feel that sort of traveling up your arm into your neck. If you move your head a little bit, you can possibly feel it all the way going up your spine. It's just quite amazing. And if we do something, hey, how about that will lead us into that other thing. Just clap and trample. Whew. That's super quick. That really raises energy. And you can, applaud yourself or applaud somebody you love or just applaud the universe. Applaud God for its wonderful creations. That's for me really the quickest, the fastest, and works brilliantly well. So there's all sorts of ways in which we can raise energy fast. We don't have to be, when we say your happiness matters, literally, we don't mean going on holiday for weeks on end or meditating forever or disappointing your family, friends, your work colleagues, or your mother in any way by saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm now going to make my happiness my goal. And so I'm not going to, talk to you or do anything for you anymore. It doesn't work like that. What we're talking about is to raise some energy before you do whatever it is that you're trying to do. And that will make you more effective and a better person. Happiness comes first. And it doesn't have to take long. It can be quick. So That's quite fun. I do tapping on my dog if I'm really low. It makes her smile. That's quite funny. Yeah, helping other people, helping other entities, getting energy flow out by, helping other people. That's also something that works. Go on Facebook and love the posts from all your friends. Just love them. Love, 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 love. And that raises energy too, giving love to other people. Or going on Facebook and looking at the posts of your friends and thinking of something good to say about that to your friend. So the friend has posted a wobbly picture of their dog, the 10,000th that day. So you actually stop and write underneath, I can really feel the love for your dog. It's a lovely dog. Thank you for sharing that. Doing something for other people. Great energy raiser. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. So I want to share the dance of happiness with you today. Are you guys ready to do the dance of happiness? Now, I have to say, EMO energy dancing is an amazing healing modality in and of itself. But that's not quite what we're doing here with the dance of happiness. It was originally stimulated by the TV show called Angel, because there's an alien guy in there, and he tends to do dances before he starts anything that he does. And so he's doing the dance of the battle before going into the battle. And he's doing the dance of romance before he goes out to chat up a female of the species. And at one point, the people notice that all the dances are exactly the same. So the dance of battle and the dance of joy, the dance of happiness, the dance of depression, they're all the same dance. And this was very funny. And we took that up in our family to do various strange little dances. And it turns out that this is an instant state breaker, a mood raiser. It's highly amusing. And even people who, generally speaking, don't dance can join in because it's kind of sarcastic. So the dance of happiness is just fun. It's not some serious energy technique. It's not something you need to study at the feet of a yoga. It's just like, okay, let's do the dance of happiness. What's the dance of happiness today? What's the dance of happiness today? You don't even have to stand up. You can do it on your chair like I'm doing right now. The dance of happiness. It's my dance of happiness. There we go. Dance of happiness. Did that, perchance, if you did it too, put a smile on your face? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. And it doesn't matter if you're doing that slightly sarcastic in the English way. The dance of I don't know, what shall we do? The dance of joy and beauty. Do, 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 do. Dance of joy and beauty. Done. 5 seconds worth. All right, what? Oh, money dance. Definitely. Let's do the money dance. Ooh, it's the money dance. Doing the money dance. See, what happens there is that as soon as your physical body starts to move a little bit, energy flow improves. It's instant. It's both ways round, As soon as your energy body starts moving and wiggling a little bit, the physical body wakes up. But likewise, if we instruct the physical body to move, energy flow improves. And the nice thing with the dances, the dance of enlightenment. Oh, yes, the dance of enlightenment. Let's do the dance of enlightenment. I so want to get up, but I'm on my chair here. Dance of Enlightenment. Ah, ha, there we go. Done. It's just fun. And that's a part of happiness. Is this lightness? Is this lightness? Things aren't so hard. Things aren't so heavy. That's why happiness matters so much. What appears to be difficult and hard work, and I see my man here dragging this cart up the hill again. When there is even a little smile attached to it, a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness, it becomes easier, it becomes lighter. It's not so hard any longer. And I think there's also all sorts of other things. We learn so much more when we are in a happier state of being. It's just so much, everything works better when the people involved are just a little bit happier, a little bit more energy rich. Linda Aiken, I'm giggling. Cool. Yes, result. Thank you, Linda. If I got one person to smile a little bit more this morning, but don't, hey, see, look, the dance of happiness, because it is slightly sarcastic and not meant to be serious, I actually even managed my partner to start doing dances of joy, of happiness, of anything really, anything that comes to mind, that springs to mind. Oh, the dance of ecstasy. Looks remarkably like the dance of happiness. But we also, we just give our bodies permission to move in a way that they otherwise wouldn't have moved. We can make movements with our neck and with our hands and with our arms and with our back and our spine that otherwise would not have happened in the day, which is kind of groovy if you think about it. Once your dear energy mind gets into this and uses the dance of ecstasy or the dance of enlightenment or the dance of infinite abundance. Shall we do that one? The dance of infinite abundance. Woohoo. I'm just giggling because it is fun, because it is happy. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Raven Fever said, being mobility challenged, I learned to finger dance. Yeah. See what other things you can get to wiggle. Mobility challenged is all good and well, but, wiggle your ears, your nose, whatever you've got that you can wiggle it, let it, move. I recommend the dance of happiness to everyone. And if people in your family just stand there and go, you're going completely mad, you just laugh and you grab them and you spin them around a little bit so they start giggling too, and encourage them to do their own dance of, they can do the dance of sanity if they're worried about your mental health or in any way, the dance of sanity, which will be fun. So yeah, you can do it sitting down, you could do it lying down, you can do it in sanctuary, any which way. These dances of something happy and positive, they will, bring a smile to your face, raise your energy. That's what it's all about. Okay. Ravens Weaver says, I'm giggling at the ear dancing. Yeah, make sure you check your body, see what you can move. You've got a scalp, insane amount of muscles in your scalp. You've got eyes with thousands of, get the eyes to dance, the spleen if you still have one. Lots and lots of possibilities to have fun with the living body. So yeah, so now I'm just going to close up here. We've been here a while. I'm astonished. Okay. So I've been sitting here in front of 7 tips for happiness. And that came about because we've been talking to each other in this small pond of people who are really working with energy and taking it seriously and actually using it in their real lives. We've been in this small pond for a long time, and it's a beautiful pond, and I love it. But we really need to reach out and tell more people about what it is that we do. We need to bring smiles to people's faces. You won't find much that brings a smile to your face in the news, will you? Or being taught in any sort of psychology type therapy thing. We need people to just understand about the modern energy chart, and that happiness matters, and that it's okay to be happy, because you can just be happy for a very short period of time, and then you go back to work, and so I was asked to write something for the general public. And 7 Tips for Happiness is specifically designed for people who don't know anything about modern energy, people who've been put off by new age rubbish and um, charlatans in the past, or people who don't believe in energy, or even people who are very religious and have been told that anything with energy is not good. So this little 7 Tips for Happiness, it's free. Please, please, please share it with your friends and your family, with your people. Share it with them with love. It might help somebody. It might make a difference to somebody. So I'm really going to ask you to share it, and just attach it to an email. Any which way you want to share it is fine by me. But we do really need to get people to understand that happiness is important, that happiness matters. I thought this was understood by everybody, but it isn't. So any help you can give with that to, help people understand how important their happiness is, that it's the beginning, not the end. Happiness is the beginning, not the end. Great. All right, guys. So, and on that happy note, as we say, the energy show dance. Oh God. So on this happy note, I invite you to spend the next week to focus on happiness first. To actually do it, before you start writing a letter, or before you phone somebody for business, or before you start telling somebody something they need to know. Before you do that, a little moment of happiness for you to raise your energy. What 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 can I do here to be happier? Something quick and easy, clapping, dance, just a couple of taps, thinking of something positive in the heart position, breathing in and breathing out. Lots of wonderful tips that we had. Use emo, use thought flow, use a crystal just for a moment, hold it to your forehead and breathe in. And there's more clarity, and then go on with your work. This is, I think, where we need to go to now, is to enact, walk our talk, put happiness first. Try it for a week, and then we can come back and talk about it and see what difference that made to your experiences in your real life, to put happiness first. So that's our great message of the day. Happiness matters. Spread a little happiness as you go by. I really believe in that as well. Give some love to people. That stimulates our own energy flows. And I still think that we can be even happier than we already are when we put our horses in front of the cart, let it take the strain a little bit, and find life becoming more of a flow, easier, more enjoyable. And this is really what we are all about. So I'm going to thank you for your precious time. Thank you for being here with me. Link to 7 Tips is below the video. If you're really into spreading the word. We have a new community energist program, and I invite you to check that out. It's going to be modern energy clubs for normal people to join, for normal people to learn more about why our happiness matters. So I'm going to wish you very well. Have a happy week. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again for next week's Energy Show, Sunday Live with Sylvia. Lots and lots of love, and bye for now. Happiness matters.